basically based off of, was he targeting the NFL offices that was in that building? Again, was he targeting the NFL offices that was in that building? In the spirit of Umar Johnson, we're going to say it 3 times. Was he targeting, ladies and gentlemen, was he targeting the NFL offices that often at times, I'm going to say it again, was he targeting the NFL offices often at times that created the Shannon Sharps of the world? Because we know that they've been trying to take down our kings with snow bunnies. Huh? You hear me? We know that they've been taking down our kings with snow bunnies. The avalanche of snow has infected all of our black folk. And I don't understand why they want their lineage to go over into their white children. Huh? I don't understand it. And so maybe he's targeting the NFL offices because they've been infecting our black kings with snow.
New details on the mass shooting in the heart of New York City that left 4 people dead, including an NYPD officer. The gunman was caught on surveillance images walking into an office tower, carrying, as you can see in that video, an M4 assault-style rifle. Police say he immediately opened fire inside the lobby and then moved to the elevator bank, went up to the 33rd floor, where he continued firing before ultimately taking his own life. This is the deadliest mass shooting in New York City in 25 years. Investigators have identified the gunman as 27-year-old Shane Tamura of Las Vegas. They've tracked his movements over the last few days as he drove from Nevada to Manhattan, parking just outside, double parking really just outside that building. Inside the building, the NFL's corporate offices, along with a number of other businesses. And a source does tell CNN the gunman had a suicide note in his pocket, which expressed some grievances with the NFL, also claiming to suffer from CTE and asking for his brain to be studied. Police, however, has stressed that at this point, any motive is still under investigation. As for the officer who was killed, he has been identified as 36-year-old Didarul Islam, a 3.5-year veteran of the department. He leaves behind a pregnant wife and 2 sons.
I do believe that he was there to target the NFL offices. I do believe that. But here's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. And maybe some of y'all can let me know inside of the chat, because I did a little bit of research and I was not able to find him on any NFL roster. The closest that I was able to find was him on a high school roster or something like that. So y'all let me know. Let me know inside of the chat. Was this guy ever on an NFL roster? Was he ever on a practice team? Did he ever get recruited? What? Was he ever on a roster? Did he ever get recruited? What happened to this guy? Because again, how can you target an organization that you never even played for? Now, again, maybe some of y'all know some information that I was not able to find. Was he on an NFL roster at any point in his career to where he could actually justify blaming the NFL for CTE? I thought that CTE meant corporate thug entertainment. I seen Jeezy. Jeezy the only CTE I know. Jeezy has CTE Entertainment. That's the only CTE I know. He didn't get a chance to prove himself. Okay, so I heard he was on a high school and ended up playing in Canada. So how can you blame? Why is he targeting the NFL offices saying that I need you to study my brain? And who gave him an M4? I said no focus on Blackstone, no. What do you want us to focus on Blackstone? I think, listen, the only reason y'all say stuff about like no focus on Blackstone or whatever, bruh, you're not even smart enough to be able to figure out what's going on with Blackstone. All you know is the conspiracy theories and the videos that you watched on YouTube. What makes you think that he is more focused? He walked around with a note. Some people saying that it was targeted and maybe it's set up, whatever, so on and so forth, right? Blood Raw, y'all remember Blood Raw? He wasn't even on the roster. But let's continue.
Overnight, officials lining the streets outside a Manhattan hospital as his body was transferred. New York City's Mayor Eric Adams has ordered all flags on city buildings be flown at half-staff in tribute to the slain officer. Here's what he had to say last night.
He was saving lives. He was protecting New Yorkers. He's an immigrant from Bangladesh, and he loved this city. And everyone we spoke with stated he was a person of faith.
CNN's Omar Jimenez is at the shooting scene for us this morning. Omar, what did we learn overnight?
Yeah, so we learned a few details overnight, but I want to start with what I'm seeing this morning, because obviously we're heading into a new rush hour, the first morning.
Oh, you're going to go far, buddy. Omar Jimenez, you're going to go far. And the reason that I know you're going to go far is because you got a face full of makeup, a head full of hair, no mustache, no beard. That's definitely going to go far. Omar, you're doing good, buddy. Just that you're going to be anchored in no time. What is up with the no mustache, no beard thing? Is that a rebuke? I promise y'all, if y'all got more men that look like men that didn't look like turtles, then y'all would be doing way better in the ratings. People actually like beards now. Y'all been doing this Bryant Gumbel look since the 80s, since the 70s. It's okay. And I'm not saying anything is wrong. I just don't trust black men that don't have facial hair.
Since this happened during evening rush hour last night, and as you mentioned, flags at half-staff, we are seeing that outside the building here. We also walked up to the entrance, or got as close to it as we could. Police are out front, barricades, as you can imagine, guarding the entrance and sort of the block perimeter around it. But you can actually see the glass cracked, sort of the introductory glass panes, window panes as you walk in, cracked with what appear to be impact points on one of the window panes, but also on the lower portion of a revolving door as well. Remnants of what happened here and what unfolded in just a few minutes as this gunman walked in, started opening fire on the lobby, killing 3 people in the lobby, including a New York police officer, before heading up.
Oh, you missing it, Trey Day. We've been cooking all day, baby.
That police officer killed 36-year-old Didarul Islam, an immigrant from Bangladesh, father of 2, expecting a third. But we also just got in a statement that one of the other people killed was an employee for Blackstone. This building holds a number of different companies. Blackstone included the NFL as well. But this statement saying, "We are heartbroken to share that our colleague Wesley LePatner was among those who lost their lives." So we're continuing to learn more about the victims in this as well. And all of this as police are trying to push forward to some sort of motive to figure out what may have driven this person to do this. We're appearing to get a few clues. A source with knowledge of the investigation says that this person had a suicide note that talked about CTE, the traumatic brain injury that is typically brought on from playing high.
I also don't trust guys whose mustache, when you don't have a beard and then your mustache goes further than your lips, I don't trust you. When I seen Shane Devon Tamura, 27, I would have immediately said, "Hey, arrest that guy. Hey. This is why I sit with my back to the door and I always face the door." When I see people that walk in and they have their mustache longer and no beard, and their mustache is longer than their lips, I don't trust them. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a reflex. I don't know if I've seen something in the past that said don't trust men that got mustaches longer than the lips but no beard. I don't know what that is, but for whatever reason, I don't trust you, because it's almost like you're trying to be a Mexican. Y'all ain't never seen them cartoons with the Mexicans that got the beard at the end and it's rolled up and it's got the curls like the cowboys, the cowboy. I don't know what it is. It's certain things that just trigger me. And I think I figured it out just right here, right now. I figured it out. What it is when I see things that don't make sense, right? When I see things that don't make sense, it's just like, that boy may be a little bit crazy, If you're 40, for example, and you decide that you want to get a mohawk, like, well, what inspired that? What made you want to do that? When I used to be younger, you know what I'm saying? And I used to see guys, and I understood the S curl, guys whose hair was a little bit more coarse and they wanted to go with the pretty boy look, but they didn't quite get it all the way because they wasn't born with straighter hair, and so they would get the S curl. I got that part. But when I seen guys start getting perms, and I said, you look crazy, right? And if they didn't admit, yep, I made a mistake. If you went and got a perm twice and it didn't work the first time, then I started looking at you a little different. Like, something wrong with him. Why he still got a wet set and it's not, but it's not wet. You know what I'm saying? I always try to figure out why do we do certain things? Was I crazy at that time? Were they crazy at that time? What's wrong with them? And so I can automatically look and be like, you know what? He not all the way there yet. We gonna have to watch him, and we gonna have to make sure we not gonna stereotype him. We just gonna watch him a little bit, and we gonna make sure that everything is good. And so keep an extra eye on that guy right there.
Impact sports like football, and this office does house the NFL, and we do understand from the NFL an employee was shot here, but that's just one piece of what is going to be a larger investigation, again, to zero in on a specific motive here. This shooter lived in Las Vegas prior to carrying this out, before driving across the country to this block where I'm standing and walking into that building and doing what they did. But bottom line, as security is beefed up at this building over the next weeks and potentially months, families will be mourning those lost in just a matter of minutes.
Absolutely. Omar, appreciate it. Thank you. John?
What? What? How is hold on? How is a perm the domestic violence kid? So y'all saying that every man that get a perm, he do domestic violence? But if you look in the movies, that's kind of true. You know what I'm saying? That is so kind of true. That's kind of true. So y'all saying that if a guy get a perm, then that's the domestic violence kid? Oh, if I see a woman walking with a guy that got a perm, I know she getting her butt kicked all day long. I know she catching hell at home with him. Jesus.
A gunman has killed at least 4 people and himself at an office tower in Midtown Manhattan. Joining us now is Bloomberg's Miles Miller. Miles, thank you so much for joining us. And you've been working tirelessly reporting on this story. Just bring us the latest and what we understand about the motive of this individual.
Right. So this suspect drives cross country, starting in Nevada, what stops through Colorado, New Jersey yesterday, parks his car right outside of this building, 345 Park Avenue, and gets out in the middle of rush hour traffic with an M4 rifle. He goes into this building, which is owned by Rudin, a large property management company here in the city, and the first person he encounters is an off-duty police officer who's working what's called a paid detail, so an officer in a uniform, but not working at a precinct, and shoots him in the back. And he continues shooting in that lobby. He shoots a security guard. He goes into an elevator bank destined for the NFL headquarters, which is on the 5th floor. But because this is an elevator bank that the buttons are on the outside, he didn't push any buttons. He winds up going to the 33rd floor, which is the headquarters of Rudin Management. And when he's in that part of the building, shoots another person who is an employee of Rudin, and then ultimately turns the gun on himself. He's in reporting that we've gotten overnight is that he had a letter, handwritten letter in his pocket, in which he says this is all about CTE, which is a chronic condition that football players get, and you can only really study it after they die. You have to search, go through their brain, and you see the signs of it. And he believes that he was hit so hard during his time playing high school football that that's what led him to come to NFL headquarters and sort of try to enact revenge against the NFL. He said they haven't done enough on CTE.
So wait a minute. Wait. So you was playing high school football. You messed around and found out. Now, I'll also tell you that Um, my parents in particular, they refused to let us play football. They refused to let us play football. We was like, why? And she said, nope. And my father was like, nope. And they said it's too dangerous and them dudes die early. And so, nope, you can't play football. That's not a thing. Go and find something else to do. Go hang out, whatever you're going to do, whatever. You can't play football. But you're telling me that he went to the NFL headquarters because he believed that he got hit so hard in high school that the NFL should be doing more to make sure that they study CTE.
This is a large office building, and anyone that has to go through these buildings knows that there's often robust security, that there are multiple points of checks to make sure that the people who are in the building are supposed to be there. You mentioned in broad daylight, this man walks in with a rifle. Is there a question to how this was even able to happen, that he wasn't stopped earlier?
Right, it's sort of a difficult position. You walk, this guy walks in off of traffic on Park Avenue. The offices are still bustling with people. Unless there are police officers with long guns outside of all of the, finance firms and the firms on Park Avenue, it's really difficult to stop the threat, especially when he winds up shooting an officer in the back. Now, there were 2 police officers on site. It's just unclear how he didn't encounter one of the other officers.
He walked in with a whole pistol. He walked in with a whole
gunman
gun.
is killed.
He walked in. The surveillance footage that they showing is showing how he just walked in with sunglasses on, and he just walked in with a whole M4 and just was going. This is another reason why I believe in guns. I know places like New York who has extremely restrictive gun laws, and places like California where if you get caught with a gun, you're going to be doing 9 million years. Meanwhile, you got criminals over there that's destroying everything. If people was strapped, they would have saved lives. I stand on that. I stand on that 1,000%. If people were strapped, we would have saved lives. We wouldn't have had a bunch of people, executives, whatever it is that's going on. They wouldn't have all been hurt. We wouldn't have been having this conversation right now. We wouldn't be doing a review video trying to understand why he's so mad and he was just a high school player. If everybody was strapped, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I'm just saying. We wouldn't even be talking about it. It would be a whole nother review video that we got going on.